There was a girl, 12 years old, standing in a bathroom in 2003, holding a magazine ad next to her own face in the mirror, trying to find the flaw the advertisement told her was there. She didn't find it, so she kept looking. She is 35 now, and she still looks. This is not a story about vanity. This is a story about a war that was declared on her before she could vote, before she could drive, before she even understood what judgment looked like in the mirror. And the unsettling truth is this: that war was never about beauty at all. It was about control. Somewhere, right now, someone is manufacturing a flaw on your body that did not exist yesterday, and they are counting on you to believe what you're told about yourself, rather than to question who's telling you. Part 1. The Cage of Authenticity. Let's start with something that cuts right to the heart of the problem: your authentic self. Philosopher Martin Heidegger argued that we live much of our lives in an inauthentic state. Inauthenticity is when you live your life according to the expectations of the they, who are the anonymous, conformist mass of society. You don't really decide who you are. You let the world decide for you. You buy the clothes they think are fashionable. You pursue the career they think is successful. You chase the body they think is beautiful. The health and beauty industry is a master at feeding this lie. Advertising sells you an image of an idealized person, including the beautiful woman and the successful man, and then invites you to use their product to become that person. It's a trap. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre would call this bad faith, which is a form of self-deception where you run away from your own freedom and responsibility by pretending you have no choice. You tell yourself, I must buy this anti-aging cream, or I have to get this procedure, because the propaganda machine tells you that you are flawed and this product is the only solution. But that is a lie. You are choosing to believe it, and in doing so, you are surrendering your power. The system is designed to hinder the development of your authentic self, leaving you chasing an ideal that was never yours to begin with. Part 2. The Unlikely Birth of an Industry. The propaganda machine that now dominates the health and beauty industry didn't appear overnight. It emerged in the early 20th century when a handful of savvy entrepreneurs recognized something startling. There was immense profit to be made from making women feel inadequate. Social, economic, and popular scientific trends converged during this period to support the mass popularity of cosmetics. Magazine advertisements from this era reflected a contemporary belief that science was on the verge of curing almost anything, including physical flaws and aging. This belief became the industry's golden ticket. Entrepreneurs like Elizabeth Arden and Helena Rubinstein, pictured left to right, built empires by promoting elaborate systems and methods to achieve beauty, while mass-market producers made claims of purity, naturalness, and even professional medical endorsements to distance themselves from dubious patent medicines. But it was Rubinstein who perhaps most perfectly articulated the emerging industry's philosophy. In her 1923 booklet, The Secrets of Beauty, she wrote a line that would echo through the decades. If you are pretty, you may twist the world round your fingers, but if you are not, you are one of the twisted. This wasn't just advertising. It was the birth of a worldview that equated a woman's worth with her appearance. Part 3. The Machine Takes Shape. By the 1930s, the scientific rhetoric of beauty was firmly entrenched. As one advertising expert, Stephen L. Mayhem, in his book Marketing Cosmetics, observed at the time, a judicious mixture of the scientific appeal in value-for-money copy has been more successful during the last 2 or 3 years than any other type of cosmetic advertising. The health and beauty propaganda had found its voice, pseudo-science paired with manufactured insecurity. The 1938 Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act attempted to curb false therapeutic claims, but advertisers simply adapted, continuing to manipulate scientific jargon to their own ends. During World War II, Ads for Pond's vanishing cream spoke of its keratolytic action. Meanwhile, the industry began cultivating a new kind of anxiety. As women entered the workforce in growing numbers, the concept of the professional beauty qualification emerged, which was an informal requirement that made beauty a prerequisite for employment, keeping women financially dependent while forcing participation in the beauty economy. This wasn't incidental. It was the system working exactly as designed. The industry had discovered that the most effective propaganda doesn't just sell a product, it sells a problem you didn't know you had, then offers itself as the only solution. Part 4. The gendered foundation of insecurity. And who is this machine targeting the most? The thinkers who studied power, like the philosopher Michel Foucault, understood that society uses technologies of surveillance to create docile bodies, which are bodies that are obedient and easily controlled. The feminist philosopher Sandra Bartke applied this directly to women. She showed how women are trained to constantly monitor their own bodies through a range of disciplinary practices, dieting, exercising, and wearing makeup, all in the hope of conforming to an ever-changing, elusive ideal of femininity. This isn't just about looking good, it's about power. By diverting a woman's energy into this obsessive pursuit of beauty, the system ensures her subordination. It's a profound, systemic, and deeply effective form of social control. By encouraging women to focus obsessively on their bodies, the system keeps them in a subordinate position. The flaws you see in the mirror, they aren't your failure. They are the design of a power structure. Part 5. The hierarchy of the gaze. Why do these ads always show the same type of beautiful person? The philosopher G.W.F. Hegel argued that aesthetics, the philosophy of beauty, has always been a tool for hierarchy. The Western canon, the collection of high culture books, philosophy, art and music, the Greek statues, and the Renaissance paintings, were held up as the absolute standard of beauty, relegating other cultures and their aesthetics to an inferior status. This is aesthetic colonization. The global beauty industry peddles a standard that is overwhelmingly Eurocentric. It promotes skin-lightening creams and glorifies Western features, actively reinforcing damaging racial hierarchies and colorism, prejudice against those with darker skin tones. It decides who is worthy of being admired and who is not. This isn't just a matter of personal taste, it's a matter of global power and oppression. Part 6. The new theology of the body. What makes this propaganda so effective today is that it has become a religion, a new theology of the body. The philosopher Byung-Chul Han argues that in the digital age, beauty has lost its aura. It's no longer a subject for deep contemplation. It's now just an object of consumption, measured in likes and followers. The influencers and celebrities become the new evangelists. The filters and surgeries become the new sacraments. Every selfie is a prayer for validation, and every like is a confirmation of your obedience to the dogma. The system has created a consumer self that can measure its existence by the products it buys and the approval it receives online. It feels like the only reality there is, but it's digital fiction. Part 7. The consolations of philosophy. The philosophers don't just offer doom and gloom, however, they also give you a way out. The French philosopher Michel Foucault, in his later work, turned from studying how we are controlled to how we can free ourselves. He proposed that we can create our own aesthetics of existence. This is a powerful concept. It means that instead of passively accepting the identity sold to you by the industry, you can actively create this identity yourself. You can treat your life as a work of art, a project of stylization that you create for yourself and on your own terms. You are an artist, and your life is the canvas. Stop letting someone else dictate the color palette. Arthur Schopenhauer saw true beauty as a brief respite from the endless suffering and wanting of human life, a moment of pure contemplative freedom. But the propaganda industry has poisoned this well. It has taken this concept of escape and turned it into a hierarchy. Only the truly beautiful people can escape, and to be beautiful, you must buy more. It's a sick joke that never ends. The liberation Schopenhauer spoke of is not on the shelves of Sephora. It's found in a quiet moment of acceptance of your own reality. Even the existentialist thinkers like Friedrich Nietzsche, who glorified chaos and the will to power, would despise today's beauty standards. Nietzsche believed true beauty was about affirming life with all its horror and splendor. It was chaotic, intense, and transgressive, and not the uniform, soulless perfection you see on Instagram. You can choose this path too. You can embrace your own chaos, the story of your life, with all its scars and twists, and see it not as a flaw, but as the very thing that makes you magnificent. Part 8. Your unbreakable self. The philosophers are telling you what you already know in your heart. The system that profits from your insecurity is built on lies. It denies your freedom, your autonomy, and your unique existence. It is designed to keep you small, in pain, controlled, and profitable. But your consciousness is your own. When you learn to see this manipulation and to recognize this propaganda as the bad faith it is, you reclaim your power. You stop living an inauthentic life defined by others and start building your own aesthetic of existence. You now realize that you were never meant to be a docile body for someone else's profit. You were meant to be the sovereign author of your own life, a force of nature who doesn't need anyone else's permission to exist.